Good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 22nd, I think. Yes. Tuesday, August 22nd. I hope that you were in the path of the solar eclipse. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I think I talked about this yesterday. I can't even remember. I've been doing this every day, these videos, and I can't remember what I've talked about and what I haven't. I guess maybe I should start doing a schedule or something. Not a schedule, but like an agenda or topics. Just writing down the topics I wanted to discuss. Anyway, this is, of course, Stephen Talbot here. And it's my pleasure. I'm very happy to have you here with me this morning. The solar eclipse yesterday was awe-inspiring. It was pretty cool. And just made me realize that this world that we live in is such a wonderful and perfect and mysterious place. I've grappled with, first let me take a step back. I grew up going to church literally every Sunday morning, Sunday night, every Wednesday night, every retreat in the fall, retreat in the summer, and multiple weeks in summer camp for a week at a time. I went to both Church of Christ as well as Free Will Baptist Church, and I grew up in a really bad, pretty bad. I mean, I grew up in Section 8 housing, which is not quite actually, I grew up in projects, and then we moved to Section 8 later. There wasn't much to do. We played outside as kids do, but there happened to be a church outreach program where this church in the richer part of town would come, and they would pick us up in buses. And they would take us to church, and it was so much fun because they paired us up with church adults who would get us stuff for Christmas, and we went to summer camp. We went to they would feed us sometimes, and we got to sing on the bus, and it was just a lot of fun. It wasn't forced on me to go to church. In fact, my mom didn't go, she rarely ever went. We did it more because we wanted to. We enjoyed it. Right when I was about 17 years old, the Church of Christ did the sermon about being gay. In case you didn't know, I'm gay. Guilty! Yes, I'm gay. And so the church did a sermon about how, I can't remember it exactly. I just remember I was already confused, right? I'm a teenager, I'm confused. I haven't come to terms yet at that point that I was totally gay. I thought there was, just something wrong with me, or I thought that there was I thought it was a phase that I was going through. So, to have grown up with a church, and then to hear a preacher, we're going to change hands. Not just a preacher, to hear my preacher talk about how bad it is to be gay. It's not the thing that I wanted. It's not the perfect thing that I wanted to hear, or not the perfect thing. It's not something that I wanted to hear at all. So, it confused me a lot because I knew the way that I felt about guys, and I was confused, and that really, really confused me because I knew that I was a good person inside, and I just knew that there was no possible way that it could be wrong to be gay. How could that be wrong? Because not just because it feels so right, and the church talks about how it was temptation and all this stuff. If there was a God, I just had figured out at that point, if there was a God, I don't think the God is like some damning God or some mean God. It just doesn't make sense. On one side of the church, they're telling you that our God is an awesome God, and He reigns from the heavens above, and He is full of love and compassion, and He's a forgiving God and all this stuff. But then on the other end, you have the scare tactics that churches try to instill in people from a very young age, and I've wrestled with that my entire life. And I forgot why I was bringing all this up. Why I was taking you this far back. I do know why. So in this video, I'm giving you a little bit about history, and also I want to talk about, I do have a topic. I'm beating around the bush as always. I stopped going to church, and I haven't been back since. In fact, throughout, I'm 36 now, so this happened when I was 17, so that was 17, 27, 36. That's almost 20 years ago. I've thought many, many times about going back to church. I thought, there less now than before. I would think things like, gosh, is this wrong? Am I going to hell? And so, even get like gay sex, for example, it's something that I've done. I do, but it's not something that I'm 100% comfortable with. Because of the stuff that I was instilled with and the potential repercussions of going to fucking hell. But I don't feel that way anymore, really. So anyway, after I saw the eclipse yesterday, it actually made me tear up, and it made me happy to be alive, as many things do that have to do with the sun or rainbows. I don't know if I told you guys, but I saw a rainbow every single day when I was in Florida last week, including the day that I left Nashville. We actually saw a rainbow in Nashville, and I have not seen a rainbow in Nashville in forever. So it was just a coincidence, or either that, or it's, the world really is perfect, and the world was telling me that I'm on the right path for freedom, because I had just, 100% decided that I was finished with this bad, horrible relationship that I was in. I changed the locks and the rainbows. And freedom tastes great. I mean, all I haven't done anything special, like, it's just knowing that I can if I want to. Anyway, so I see this eclipse yesterday, and it did make me cry a little bit, and I actually thought how happy I was to be alive. And it just made me realize that whether it's God or whether it's something else, I just cannot believe for 1 second that everything just sort of like, just spontaneously combusted, like, together to create all this. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm a very scientific person, but it just doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you? Maybe it does. I'm not trying to be convinced either way. I think I'm okay living with the unknown, which I think is something that we all have to learn to do, because we'll never know. We'll never know for sure. Maybe after we die we will. So I don't know. Anyway, it made me want to find a church to go to. And I don't know if I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's a church where they play with snakes. Just kidding. Maybe, you never know. I'm an open-minded person. I'd go once. Maybe it's the Church of Scientology. No, I'm kidding. Maybe it's some cult. I'm kidding. I feel bad for people that are in situations like that. I don't mean to make fun of it. So I'm sorry if I offended anybody. But seriously, though, I don't know what that looks like in terms of the denominational church or a non-denominational church. I really, honestly don't want to go somewhere where I'm being preached scriptures from a Bible. Because the Bible is a book. You might as well take some other historical book and preach from it. Because that's all the Bible is. The Bible, and you can't quote me on this, and I'm not like some historian or, what do you call it, a religious historic person, a theology. Anyway, I'm not a professional at this, but I watched a National Geographic documentary, and I know that you can't believe everything that you see on documentaries, but based on my research, I'm under the impression that the Bible is nothing more than a few hand-selected books written by, people around in Jesus' days or whatever, that was selected by the Catholic Church for none other than control. They wanted to control the population. They wanted to, which makes sense to some degree. Otherwise, people just run amok and do whatever the fuck they want, right? We have police. The Vatican has all their rules, and I guess I think it was all about money, power, and control. The Catholic Church is richer than anything else, and they own more property than anybody else in the world, except I think McDonald's, which is crazy. But Anyway, I don't know what that looks like, so I'm on the hunt for, I guess, what I would call a non-denominational church that doesn't preach from the Bible. Does that exist? I do not know. I'm more about the spiritual side of it, the connecting with others who want to believe in something bigger than themselves. That's what I want to find. It doesn't even have to be Christianity, to be honest. I think that there are certain things from Hinduism, from Buddhism, and I haven't studied these religions in depth. I'm just saying that from the little bits and pieces I know of them, and the lots I know about Christianity is not necessarily the way that I want to go. So I want to go. Is there a religion for people who just don't know? I know there's atheists and stuff like that, but I don't know. Anyway, if you have any ideas for me, I'm in Nashville, by the way. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I know that religion is a sensitive topic, and so just to know that in this video, I'm just talking about my own journey and my own experience. To each his own. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm very open-minded, so I'm happy to hear your opinion, but please, spare us all the doomsday, hell tactics in the comments if you should be so inclined to leave a comment. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe below. Share it with your friends. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them. And as always, I love you, and until next time, enjoy yourself.